Welcome back, and for nostalgic reasons, we are back to doing one of my favorite things on my channel, operator guides. These guides are going to be more oriented towards very new players, and I'll be explaining it basically as I would be explaining it to my dad. Note, he was a combat medic, so I might have to explain it a bit in depth. He wants to stick to more of the support role, and without gun skill, the support role is the best way to go. And why not start with Iana? Iana is an attacker, and it seems her specialization is classed as a frontline and intel, which I think is pretty fair. So let's talk about her weapons first. She has the ARX, a heavy-hitting AR, but do keep in mind a low mag. A solid all-rounder G36C, which has a bigger mag of a 30+1, but does not do as much damage. Honestly, you can't go wrong between the two. If you're better with body shots, go with the ARX, but you're gonna be hurting when you need more mag size. Now on console, for the attachments, I always run the grip that makes it so you can move faster, so that way I can run around the map a bit quicker, and I run ACOG. Now for PC, I can't personally control recoil very well, so I go with recoil attachments to make it so I can actually use the fucking weapon. Now, let's go to her secondaries. Her secondaries are definitely a very hard choice. She has outright one of my favorite handguns. It's the same one given to Buck in Frost, the Mark I 9mm. It's a pistol that has a 13+1, great damage, barely any recoil, beautiful iron sights, a great way to go, and a good fallback to. Or we have the utility destroyer, the Gon 6. Only one shot destroys whatever you hit with it. Most things. For me, it's kind of rough to run the Gon 6 because, you know, you're not having a secondary, especially if you're running an ARX. I would say if you're running the ARX, use the 9mm because that mag size is gonna fucking hurt you, as I've already said. But I will say the Gon 6 has come in clutch in certain situations, specifically castle barricades or deployable shields. Now let's get to the bread and butter of this operator, her Gemini replicator. Her Gemini replicator creates an exact copy of herself and allows you to see through it. Now, you can use this for, you know, probing enemy defenses. Everybody's gonna use it to look at her own ass. I mean everybody, especially with that goddamn elite. All jokes aside, this ability has kind of quite a few niches about it. When I say it makes an exact copy of her, it really does, including your weapons, outfit, so it's very hard to distinguish between the two. Now, while the drone does give you intel, it also does one other thing. You might be able to get enemies to use, well, their utilities, whether that be nitro cells, impacts, or their operator abilities. A great example is this clip. This clip, I heard a nitro cell on the other side, so I threw my replicator in there, and they detonated it thinking that it was a human. And then I got the frag on them. Now, things to keep in mind with actually deploying the replicator, it takes about 2 to 3 seconds to actually deploy it and then get it moving. This may not seem big, but those 2 to 3 seconds does not take very long for a defender to attack you. And trust me, some defenders are hungry. But how do we counter this? When using Iana's ability, believe it or not, you can actually cancel the animation. And if you cancel it at the very last second, the sound cue still plays of, you know, you going to your Gemini, but you'll be guns up, ready to go. Believe it or not, this can trip up a lot of defenders, and it's a really good thing to do, especially if you know they're aggro defenders. Now let's get to the very last tactic, and the tactic that you are playing the support role of. The term, shadowing. Now shadowing was originally done with attacker drones. Basically, an attacker would follow another drone close range, so when a defender goes to shoot the drone, the attacker is ready there to shoot. But this is where Iana's drone, with it being an exact copy of her, makes this tactic way more viable. While it can be a good tactic, it's also very hard to pull off, so please keep good communication with your people, especially as Iana. Make clear and precise callouts. One thing to keep in mind is if the defenders have any fucking brain cells, they'll know what's going on. So this might be a tactic you only use once or twice during a game. The biggest thing that fucks up the military is patterns. That's why we change our shit up constantly. So change your tactics, don't do the same thing twice, unless it worked really fucking well. Now, for all these pros, she does have something really rough. Time is definitely not on her side. Out of any operator, time hurts her the most. Now, if she cancels the Gemini replicator, it actually recharges really quick. Like really fucking quick. However, what happens when it gets destroyed? If the Gemini replicator is destroyed, whether it be by ammo, friendly fire, explosives, it has a long cooldown before you can use another one. It's nice you get to get it back, but trust me, with a ranked game being 3 minutes long, it's gonna basically take up a whole fifth, even a quarter of the game, which may not sound much, but trust me, when you have defenders that are shooting out constantly, you're basically another recruit on the field. Now the biggest thing I should emphasize with Iana is, even though that cooldown is rough, keep in mind you still have normal drones and lay down suppressive fire with your guns. Yes, while she doesn't have the best mag size to do so, you're still another person with a gun. Lay down suppression and do other parts of support. My biggest tip to getting good at Iana is simply learning your callouts, whether that be far left, back right, or blue stairs. We'll get more on map knowledge or map callouts in another video, because trust me, they are very big. But in general, this is what you're going to want to work on and prioritize when learning Iana. In general, out of 10, Iana I give a solid 7 out of 10. She's been a bit overshadowed by Dokkaebi as the past 2 seasons, since Dokkaebi's in every fucking ranked game if she isn't banned. I think people are starting to learn how to counter Iana way more effectively than when she first came out, so it's going to be a bit risky to play her. But if you actually get good at her and learn how to make callouts, learn when to use the drone, when not to use the drone, learn her fucking weapons, she is a heavy fragger. How do you guys like Iana? And do you guys think I covered her pretty well? And what defender are we going for next? I think I have a certain idea.